Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tai Chi Code. We are working our way through the Tai Chi Yang Style 24 form, and in this video we will be picking up at the end of pickup needles at C-bottom and going through fan through back and chop opponent with fist. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Todd Martin, creator of the Tai Chi Code. On this channel, I try and help you relate all of your Tai Chi movements to your specific movements of our waist and our hip muscles. I'm going to begin with a demonstration at the end of pickup needles at C-bottom, then go through our core movements and then briefly touch on the core techniques. We're beginning at the end of pickup needles at C-bottom. Now let's go step by step so you can practice the movements. Beginning at pickup needles at C-bottom, we're gonna raise the body up to a vertical position. The right palm is gonna be facing out at an angle, and the left palm is going to connect with the fingers to the back of the right wrist. We're gonna get to a vertical position, and then we're gonna step out with the left heel in a shoulder width stance. And then we're going to shift forward, striking forward with the left palm as the right palm and arm rise to a blocking position. Then we are going to turn the body, and as we turn, we're going to create a fist with the right hand, and the left hand is going to go over, circling over the head into this position as I prepare to step out to the right. I'm going to shift my weight back to the left leg as I continue my focus to the right. Then I'm going to release the right leg, stepping out onto the heel and rolling the arm up so the fist is just about at my forehead height. Then I'm going to shift forward, striking with the left palm. Then we're going to roll the right fist back and then strike across the left palm with the right fist. That's going to conclude chop opponent with fist. Now let's go through the core movements, including our waist rotation and our hip actions that we're using in each one of the techniques that we see. I'll begin with pickup needles at C-bottom because this is a very good representation of the pluck core technique. We're extending the left hip and we're turning the upper waist against that extending left hip. So my upper waist from the rib cage here is turning to the left as I extend my left hip, and I'm rooting the right leg, meaning I'm turning the lower abs back to the right, tucking the pelvis on the right, and rooting the right leg as I do those other two movements with the core. That is what's creating this motion here. Then I'm going to rise up. As I rise up, I'm turning the upper waist to the right, continuing the root on the right, and I'm flexing my left hip. So I've taken the extension from the left hip, and then now I'm essentially lifting the left hip, and that is what is creating this movement here. We step out onto the heel by changing the root from right to left. This is the same motion we would do when stepping out in parting the wild horse's mane. And then we're going to shift forward. As we shift forward, what we're doing is turning the upper and lower waist to the left, rooting the left leg as we power with flexion of the right hip. From this position here, flexing the right hip and turning the upper and lower waist to the left. If I were to extend the right hip instead of flexing it, you would see that action happen. So we can test out whether we're flexing the hip or not. If we don't flex the hip and we extend the hip instead, we're going to get a completely different action. Instead of this, we would get this. So once we've got the fan through back position, the turn again is going to use pluck. I'm going to turn the upper waist to the left as the lower waist goes to the right as I extend the left hip. That is going to create the energy to fold my hand into a fist. You can see I am reaching around to my left as I'm turning to the right. Then I'm going to shift back, flexing the right hip as I turn the upper waist to the right, and I turn the lower abs to the left. So this is similar to that pluck action, except we're using flexion of the hip, not extension. So we shift back here. This is the same shift that we do in parting the wild horse's mane, or anytime we're stepping into the carry the ball position. And I'm going to then complete the movement the same way I would in parting the wild horse's mane by turning the upper waist to the left, and that's going to release the right leg and allow the right hand to roll up like this. So here I have the upper and lower waist turned to the left as I've stepped out onto the right heel. And then I'm going to shift forward. This is the same core movement as fan through back. I'm flexing my left hip, but turning the upper and lower waist to the right. Then I'm going to roll the right fist back. This is actually going to be a ward-off movement. And then we're going to repeat in chopping the opponent with the fist, turning the upper and lower waist to the right as I flex the left hip to complete the final strike. So we have several different movements utilizing flexion of the active hip and turning the upper and lower waist away from the flexing hip. We see that in this preparation. We see it in fan through back. Then we're going to turn around and we're going to see the motion here, turning the upper and lower waist away from the flexing hip. And then we're going to see it again right here. Understanding the core movements is very important, and I'm going to demonstrate why it's important to understand it by showing the difference between chop opponent with fist and a very similar movement called white snake spits out its tongue that we see in both the 108 form and in the 40 form. When we do chop opponent with fist, we're creating the fist by turning the upper waist against the extending hip. When we do white snake spits out its tongue, we're going to turn the upper and lower waist both away from the extending hip. This does not create a fist with the right hand. Then I'm going to shift back in the same manner, step out onto the heel in the same manner, strike with the palm, roll the hand back, and do the strike with the right hand, which is now not in a fist formation. So this is white snake spitting out its tongue with a flat palm of the right hand, as opposed to the fist of chop opponent with fist. Now I'm going to briefly go through the core techniques of each of the movements from the end of pick up needles at C bottom all the way through chop opponent with fist. The core techniques are my analysis of the core movements of the waist and hip correlated with our 8 Tai Chi energies. So we have pluck, elbow strike, press, elbow strike, pluck, split, elbow strike, ward off, elbow strike. In the next lesson, we're going to go from chop opponent with fist to step forward and parry punch, and then we will be almost complete with the Tai Chi Yang style 24 form. If you got value from this video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, drop me a comment and let me know what you think. Those comments really help drive the YouTube algorithm to bring more people to these videos. Have a great day.